It's Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. John Farina and I are on the ground in New York City in front of the New York Public Library where there is a protest against the U.S. entering the war against Iran. On June 12th, 2025, so just a few days ago, Israel launched a surprise large-scale aerial assault on Iranian territory, targeting nuclear facilities, military bases, missile infrastructure, and reportedly killed senior commanders and nuclear scientists. Iran has repeatedly denounced Israel's military campaign in Gaza as a genocide and has said that they are committing war crimes and ethnic cleansing. They have called their recent attack on them a declaration of war, which they responded to with drone attacks against Israeli targets and missile attacks of their own. Israel claims that it acted preemptively to prevent Iran from finally completing a nuclear bomb, a claim that they have been making since like 1996, which apparently Iran was just weeks and months away from making. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, said in March that Iran was not close to having an operational nuclear program. Though President Trump, who as candidate ran on the promise of ending global conflicts, said that he disagrees with her. And they are reportedly considering entering the war against Iran to fight for Israel's apparent right to continue its genocide against the Palestinian people. President Trump, again, the anti-war candidate who ran on a promise of ending global conflict, is pushing us closer to war with Iran under false pretenses. And the defense contractors are thrilled. Frank St. John, Chief Operating Officer of Lockheed Martin, says that we're in the beginning of a 3 to 5 year long surge in defense spending. This means more money in their pockets and suffering of war for the working class here in Iran and in Israel as well. So again, John Farina and I are on the ground for the New York Public Library where a protest has been organized to prevent us from entering war with Iran. War benefits the elite class. And as you can see, corporate media is not here. They are busy helping to manufacture consent for a war that the working class does not want. So you can help us cover these protests and more and prevent us from getting into war with Iran by supporting independent media. And you can do that at statuscoup.com/join. So John and I will be here today covering the protest in New York City. So follow along with us to see what happens tonight, again, at this protest against our entering war with Iran.
And call to the Trump administration that we will not stand for another war. We stand here to say, hands off of Iran now. We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now. So, are we here to make some noise to let the Trump administration know and every politician know that there should be no war with Iran? You can be louder than that. For our first speaker, we have Mahmed, an Iranian American and co-founder of EV Loves NYC. No war with Iran. From the belly of the beast. Hands off the Middle East. From the belly of the beast. Hands off the Middle East. Do we want this war? Do Americans want this war? Do Iranians want this war? So, last week, I was in another protest against the travel ban, and I was talking about how my 77-year-old mom that is living alone in Iran, in Shiraz, is now not able to come to America to see her sons and how she's left alone there. A week later, now her life is in danger. Last 3 nights ago, we had the bomb that went down 3 blocks from where she lives. All the windows of our house is broken. These are the things that no one want to show you when we are talking about this. So, I haven't been able to go back to Iran for 15 years because the Iranian regime also thinks that I'm an enemy because we stand up, we talk about human rights, we talk about all the things that they do. So they think that we are enemy, American government thinks that we are enemy just because we stand for what is right. Believe me, we hate the mullahs more than anyone else. We hate the akhuns that are in Iran more than anywhere else. The warmongers that are sitting in DC have nothing in comparison to what we have gone through and what we have faced dealing with them. But I'm here to tell you that bombs are not going to bring us freedom. They think that no one talks about. They think that they give you all this bullshit in media that we are doing precision attacks, that we are doing this. What they don't show you is that within 4 nights, 250 civilians have been killed in Iran. What they are... Shame! What they don't show you is that Israel is bombing every infrastructure that is there. It's bombing hospitals. It's bombing all the water supply centers. These are the things that you won't see anywhere in the media. Like always, you know, the average civilians are the ones that are paying for this propaganda. They are the ones that their life is being upheld. Like Trump comes overnight and be like, people of Tehran, like, evacuate. There's 17 million people, twice the size of New York. Where do they go? What do they do? That's not how it works. And this is not only about Israel. America is the main culprit in all of that. They are the ones that sign up on that. They are the ones that give all the permissions. They are the ones that turn the blind eye toward all the genocide that they are doing. It's all the European countries. It's France, it's Germany. They, you know, their silence, the weapons that they give to people. All of these countries that claim that they are like the upholders of human rights are the ones that are laughing and enjoying the civilians being killed right now. Israel has been doing that for 8 years, but specifically in the last 2 years. They started with the genocide in Gaza, then they went to Lebanon, then they went to Syria, today they are in Iran. Do you think it will stop in Iran? No. They will continue doing this as long as we let them do that. They have some elements that they do everywhere, you know. They specifically target the civilians. Their signature move is bombing the children's hospital. And that's the very first thing they did in Tehran, was bomb a children's hospital there. And we are here If you listen to the media, if you listen to the politicians, they are all standing. Today I read a statistic that 180 Congress members and senators have said that they stand with Israel, and that Israel is the victim. Like,
Shame!
yeah. So a lot of us remember 22 years ago when they did the same lies. That time, this time is nuclear. That time was WMD, was weapons of mass destruction. They took us through the same filthy pattern that they took us 22 years ago to bring us to a never-ending war with Afghanistan and Iraq. Now they want to do another one with Iran. What do we say to them? No! This is not an issue between Democrats and Republicans. They are all complicit in that. We know we live in an upside down world when the crazy nut jobs like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owen make more sense than the Democratic leaders that claim that they stand for the human rights.
Shame!
I'm gonna finish my talk with saying that this falls on us to prove their lies, that the Americans are not standing for that they make the fake videos, that Iranians are waiting and are excited for the bombs to be falling on them. I'm here to tell them that it's all a big lie, and who wants to have bombs dropped on them? That's not how it works. So, one last time, we should all say it loud and clear together. From the belly of the beast, hands off the Middle East.
Hands off the Middle East!
From the belly of the beast,
From the belly of the beast!
hands off the Middle East.
Hands off the Middle East!
Thank you very much for being here.
When Iran is under attack, what do we do? When Iran is under attack, what do we do? What do we do? When Iran is under attack, what do we do? When Iran is under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Give it up, give it up. Next up, we welcome Isabella from the Palestinian Youth Movement.
We're here today to demand an end of the Zionist aggression on our region. For decades, the Zionist entity has violated our region's sovereignty, our dignity, and our right to enact our popular will and our political will. This week, the Zionist entity expanded its genocidal campaign onto the Iranian people. They continue to attempt to fragment and wreak havoc on the political and social fabric of our entire region.
Shame!
But we know that since its inception, the Zionist entity of Israel has been a project of Western imperialism. It was designed to liquidate any threat to European and U.S. interests.
Shame!
This is what we have been witnessing for years in the form of suffocating sanctions and relentless warmongering against Iran and any state in the region that dares to exercise its sovereignty and serves its own people's interests.
Shame!
Despite what the Trump administration claims, the Zionist entity's attacks on Iran was entirely coordinated and green-lit by the U.S.
Shame!
And the sequence of events, the years of warmongering, and most recently, the negotiations between the U.S. and Iran revealed to us America's role in Israel's expanded bombing campaign.
Shame!
And we know very well how the U.S. and its allies use negotiations, not to end wars, but to force our people into submission, and we will not submit. It is Zionism. It is imperialism. It is the U.S. and Israel marching together in lockstep against the masses of the world. Over the last 19 months, we have witnessed the promise of regional unity. Our people in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Yemen have shown us what living and acting on our principles truly means. They have shown us what it means to fully embody dignity. And around the world, we have seen the unquestionable will of the popular masses who have taken matters into their own hands to demand an end to the genocide, the breaking of the siege, an arms embargo on Israel, and the freedom and return for the Palestinian people. Whether it's the brave activists of the Madleen sailing to break the siege, the thousands in Egypt ready to cross the desert on foot, or the thousands en route from North Africa. As imperialist and Zionist regimes attempt to divide us, we must insist on unity in confronting Zionism. From Palestine to Iran, from Lebanon to Yemen, we will never be intimidated into submission. The Zionist entity of Israel has never been more isolated than it is right now. It is our role to continue to resist, to continue to isolate, to continue to rise up. We promise to commit ourselves to the struggle and ensuring that Zionism is dismantled forever. Gaza will free us all!
Gaza will free us all!
Zionism will fall!
Zionism will fall!
Gaza will free us all!
Gaza will free us all!
Imperialism will fall!
Imperialism will fall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall!
Imperialism will fall!
Imperialism will fall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall!
Israel will fall!
Israel will fall! They're bombing Iran by the hour. What do we do? Like the power, yo. They're bombing Iran by the hour. What do we do? They're bombing Iran by the hour. What do we do? They're bombing Iran by the hour. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We know that the U.S. is trying to enter into an illegal war with Iran, and we say shame. Elected leaders in Congress recognize the U.S. involvement as illegal and introduce privileged bipartisan privileged war powers resolution in both the House and the Senate to stop the further U.S. involvement in this egregious attack against Iran. So when Iran is under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. When Iran is under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. Please help me in welcoming from the Answer Coalition, Brian Becker. Sisters and brothers, the Wall Street Journal, about an hour and a half ago, has a front page article, and it announces that Donald Trump has approved of a plan to carry out a massive U.S. military strike against Iran.
The article goes on to say he's approved of the plan, but he hasn't given the order yet. Now, of course, this is a demonstration of illegality, immorality, the lack of ethics, hubris, arrogance. You can come up with some other adjectives. But certainly, we have to recognize that this would not only be a terrible war crime, and it must be considered a crime against peace and a crime against humanity. The United States is at peace with Iran. There is no war that's been declared by the U.S. Congress against Iran. So the idea that Trump will send a 31,000-pound bomb, the so-called bunker buster bomb, to drop on Iranian people, on Iranian facilities, will be a war crime. And the Iranian government has issued a statement responding to Trump. Of course, he had that tweet, unconditional surrender, and the Iranian leadership announced that under no circumstances will Iran surrender. As they said, what does it even mean to surrender? And that's an important question. Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. No one asserts that Iran has a nuclear weapon. Israel has hundreds of nuclear weapons. Iran is part of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. It allows international inspectors to come in and examine Iran's civilian nuclear energy program to assure and to guarantee that Iran is not actually building a nuclear bomb. So there is no nuclear threat to Iran, to Israel or to the U.S. That's a complete fabrication. But Israel does have hundreds of nuclear weapons. And the United States has 5,000 operational nuclear weapons. And the United States was the only country in the history of humanity that dropped an atomic bomb. And it did so on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Both of those cities were civilian areas. And instantly, when you drop nuclear bombs, it incinerated 100,000 human beings, civilians. So let's sort of put those facts on the table and then try to establish some other context for how each and every one of us should view this conflict. One way to look at it is this. Iran is a country of 90 million people. That's bigger than France. It's bigger than Germany. It's a major power. It has a large military. And even with all of the devastating economic sanctions that have been imposed on Iran for the last decades by Western countries, mainly the United States, does anyone here possibly think that Iran, if it is attacked by the United States with these kind of weapons, will roll over and carry out unconditional surrender? Or will Iran be a place where the gates of hell have opened for U.S. imperialism in this resource-rich region of the world? I think we know with certainty that if Trump does this, the United States, like happened in Vietnam, like happened in Iraq, like happened in Afghanistan, the U.S. will succeed only in killing large numbers of people, but it will not be able to rule over the people of Iran or the people of the Middle East. That's a fantasy. each and every one of us has to recognize that we are at a moment that could be an inflection point in contemporary history. If Iran is bombed by the United States, if that moron in the White House, Donald Trump, says, yes, I'm going to do it, and if he's allowed to do it, we are going to enter a new era of political instability that will make the last 20 years look like a tea party. Each and every one of us has to do everything in our power right now to prevent the U.S. from carrying out this madness. Trump must be stopped. This war must be stopped. The situation could not be more grave. We asked everyone today, and there's a coalition of groups that have come together. Some are Iranian, some are Palestinian, some are people from North America. It's a coalition of groups. This coalition has to get bigger. It has to get a lot bigger. It has to get a lot stronger. It has to be in the streets. The only reason the Vietnam War ended was because of opposition from people in the United States. It's not going to be the members of Congress who are still criminally watching as Trump prepares for this new aggression, watching and saying almost nothing. We have to do it. We the people have to do it. Can we do it? Yeah! Are we able to make a commitment to keep mobilizing today and tomorrow and every day to make sure that this does not happen? And if it does happen, we have to make it clear that the people of this country, not just people who voted for Biden, it could be people who voted for Biden, voted for Trump, voted for socialists, voted for the Green Party. People across the political spectrum are sick and tired of endless war. They want to spend money for jobs and education and housing and health care, not for war. So this is serious business. If you're with me, if you're ready to make a commitment to stay, to organize, to talk to your neighbors, your family, everyone you can about this madness and why it must end, please raise your hand. Let's make this commitment. No war against the people of Iran. Thank you very much. From Tehran to Gaza, hear our call. From Tehran to Gaza, hear our call. No more war, life for all. From Tehran to Gaza, hear our call. No more war, life for all. No more war, life for all. No more war, life for all. It's bullshit, get off it. These wars are for profit. It's bullshit, get off it. These wars are for profit. It's bullshit, get off it. These wars are for profit. It's bullshit, get off it. These wars are for profit. It's bullshit, get off it. These wars are for profit. Give it up for our next speaker, Beirut from the National Iranian American Council.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you. These are hard times, and I know how difficult it is for all of you to show up here with force and to make our voices heard. As the horrendous atrocities of the genocidal war in Gaza continues, Israel is expanding its forever war to Iran.
Shame!
In violation of every single international law that ensures the sovereignty of nations, Israel has begun another unprovoked war by attacking Iran. But we say enough is enough. 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 In violation of every single international law for the protection of civilian lives, Israel is bombing Iranian cities.
Shame!
But we say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. In violation of rules for safeguarding nuclear enrichment sites against radioactive contamination, Israel is destroying the peaceful Iranian enrichment sites. But we say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. In violation of rules against forced displacement of an entire population, Israel is warning residents of Tehran, a city of 12 million people, to evacuate the city. But we say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Israel claims that this was a preventative war. No credible international or American intelligence corroborates with the Israeli government that Iran posed an imminent danger to the Israeli security. War is the only form of engagement Israeli government understands. Now the Trump administration is gearing up to enter the war directly. Israel has committed all these atrocities with the support of successive American administrations. Now we are on the verge of turning that political, financial, logistical, and military support into a declaration of war against Iran. No war on Iran. No war on Iran. No war on Iran. No war on Iran. We are told that it would be easy. They will surrender. We dropped the bombs, and they told us that, as George W. Bush once said, we go shopping.
Shame.
We heard this story before. Americans do not want war and bloodshed. Americans do not want the massacre of innocent people that only serve to fatten the pockets of war profiteers. Stop supporting Israeli atrocities. No war with Iran. No war with Iran. No war with Iran. Raise your hands and make our voices heard. To our representatives, we say no war on Iran. No war on Iran. No war on Iran. No war on Iran. Thank you.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands up Iran now!
Hands up Iran now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands up Iran now!
Hands up Iran now!
Hands up Iran now! Hands up Iran now! Hands up Iran now! Hands up Iran now! We want justice, you say how? Hands up Iran now! Give it up for yourselves one more time! As has been said before, but it bears repeating, the reason we are out here is because the U.S. wants to drag us into another illegal war with Iran, while our communities here in New York City go hungry, while our brothers and sisters here are left left without adequate resources to health care and education. And while there is a terrible and tragic attack against our immigrant brothers and sisters, they tell us they don't have money to feed the poor, but they damn sure do find the money for war, and we will not stand for it. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more war. Welcome our next speaker from About Face.
Hello, my name is Tom Pepin. I'm a member of About Face, Veterans Against the War. We're a group of post 9/11 veterans who organize against the U.S. policy of forever war and work to stop the use of military weapons and tactics against communities across this country here. For many of us, our lives were irreparably impacted by our experience in the military. Physical, psychological, and moral injury from our participation in illegal and unjust wars that killed hundreds of thousands of Afghans and Iraqis. These wars were waged in the name of U.S. security, but they didn't make us safer. The only beneficiaries of those atrocities were weapons manufacturers and defense contractors, whose shareholders include many members of Congress. We were dragged into those wars by corrupt and lying officials. They fed us propaganda about WMDs. They deployed racist Islamophobic tropes to dehumanize their victims and conceal the devastation that is unleashed by the U.S. war machine. Now we're seeing people who want to repeat these same crimes with the same lies. There is a dangerous rogue state in the region with a secret nuclear weapons program, but it isn't Iran. It's Israel. It's clear Israel has no limits. It's committing genocide in Gaza. It's subjecting Palestinians in the West Bank to a brutal military regime, terrorizing the people of Lebanon, and expanding its illegal occupation of Syrian territory. And now it's further destabilizing the region by launching a war on Iran. This is all to impose Israel's will on the region, to brutally eliminate any challenge, real or perceived, to its settler colonial apartheid regime. We cannot allow the fascist lunatics and war criminals in the Israeli government to bring us into this war. And when I condemn Israel, I don't want to implicitly absolve the United States, because as it's been noted, Israel's wars are our wars. We bear responsibility for Israeli impunity. Our government funds these wars. We arm Israel. We provide diplomatic cover. Netanyahu feels emboldened to expand the scope of these criminal military campaigns because he knows that Israel enjoys unconditional support from our government. This must stop. We must cut aid to Israel. We must start arming Israel. And we must begin treating Israel like the pariah state it is. No war on Iran. Arms embargo now.
We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now. We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now. From the belly of the beast. Hands off the Middle East. From the belly of the beast. We want justice, we want peace.
from Norutal.
My name is Mian. I'm a member of Norutal for Korean Community Development. Norutal stands in complete and total solidarity with the people of Iran and West Asia as they resist the terror of U.S. empire and its Zionist attack on the state of Israel. As Korean people, we are all too familiar with the reality of U.S. occupation and war. We know that when the U.S. massacres civilians and bombs infrastructure, that these are not mistakes. They are calculated attempts to kill civilians. They are acts of genocide. The public is being pushed to support this war with Iran based on the lie that it is a nuclear threat. We refuse to accept it. It is the United States and Israel who are the greatest nuclear threats in the world today. It's the United States who has been the only country to have ever used nuclear weapons in warfare. They didn't nuke Hiroshima and Nagasaki to win the war. They did it to remind the people of Asia and the colonized world that we are nothing to them. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's in the Pacific where the U.S. conducted 67 nuclear weapons tests in the Marshall Islands without the consent of its people. All across indigenous reservations on Turtle Island, the U.S. is dumping its nuclear waste and poisoning local waters. Shame! In Iraq, Yugoslavia, and Syria, the U.S. used depleted uranium weapons that are still causing birth defects and cancer to this day. Iran does not have a singular nuclear weapon. Iran has demonstrated time and time again its willingness to negotiate and accept international oversight for its civilian nuclear energy program. By comparison, the U.S. has over 3,000 nuclear weapons, enough to destroy all life on Earth hundreds of times over. Israel may have as many as 400 nuclear weapons, nukes it holds in secret and acquired illegally in violation of international law. And yet neither the U.S. nor Israel have faced consequences. The only countries that the UN Security Council sanctions today for its nuclear activity is Iran and North Korea. Two countries who do not start wars around the world. The two countries who are not responsible for the genocide in Gaza. And the two countries that the US has tried to topple again and again for decades. We're not buying the lies. We're not buying the lies from the warmongers in the Trump administration and in the media. The only rogue states in this world are the U.S., Israel, and their allies helping them commit acts of genocide. Where is the International Commission to denuclearize Israel? Where is the International Commission to denuclearize the U.S.? Where are the international sanctions against these rogue state sponsors of terror? We're living in a time where the U.S. and Israel justify their crimes against humanity by invoking law and order. When the law is a tool for a tiny elite to impress and wage war against the entire world, then resistance and revolution becomes everybody's responsibility. The courts and Congress are not our last line of defense. It's you. It's the masses of organized people who really hold the power, and now it is time for our rulers to finally learn that lesson. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes.
up for our next speaker from the Party for Socialism and Liberation, Sean.
1, 2, 3, 4. Beat the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beat the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beat the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beat the people, not the war. Oh yes indeed. Friends, my name is Sean Blackman, and I'm here with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Oh, yes. And we are gathered here this evening to expose a lie. And I'm not talking about some small, harmless lie. No. I'm talking about a lie that could have catastrophic implications for the people of Iran, for the Middle East as a region, and indeed for this whole world. Iran is not a nuclear threat to Israel, or to anyone else for that matter, because Iran has no nuclear weapons. I want to remind you all that Iran is a part of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel is not a part of this treaty because Israel's nuclear weapons are secret. We're supposed to pretend like they don't exist. And the United States, that grand example of upright nationhood, the U.S. has over 5,000 operational nuclear weapons in its arsenal right now as we speak. And when I say operational, I'm talking about bombs that are able to be deployed at a moment's notice. And yet somehow we're supposed to believe that Iran is the nuclear aggressor. Do we see the hypocrisy in imperialism? We are being fed a warped version of reality where Iran is the aggressor, but the governments that are making war against Iran are completely innocent. Because somehow Israel is always framed as the victim, even as it carries out a full-blown genocide in Gaza. And this has been said before in our action today. We need to keep saying it. We can never ever forget that only one country in the history of this earth has actually used a nuclear weapon. And that's the United States of America, that dropped an atomic bomb on civilians in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing over 100,000 people. And so our opposition to this war is also a defense of the people of Iran and their sovereignty. We do not believe that the people of Iran should be sacrificed upon the altar of empire. This is yet another war that stands to rob us, the working people of the United States of America, of resources that we desperately need. Instead of spending $1 trillion every year on death and destruction and endless war, we should be spending that money on education, on healthcare, on housing, things that sustain and develop life instead of death and suffering. And my friends, we should always remember, and we must always understand, that this same U.S. imperialist system that is carrying out this war of aggression, unprovoked aggression, against Iran, this is the same system that's carrying out a genocide in Gaza. It's the same system that is tightening the economic screws even more on Cuba and Venezuela. It's the same system that killed 1 million Iraqis after its 2003 invasion. It's the same system that split Korea in half for its own purposes. The same system that occupies and destabilizes Haiti. The same system carrying out immigration raids, terrorizing workplaces and communities all across this country. It's the same system that was built on the genocide of indigenous people and the enslavement of Africans. So we are here to reject the lie and tell the truth that this is a war of aggression and regime change. And if it escalates, it will grow into a larger and more disastrous war with the ultimate goal of replacing the current Iranian government with a government that is more pliable to the whims of Washington and those jackals upon Wall Street. You must always remember that at the root of every imperialist war is the drive for capital and control. And so we understand today that imperialism is the highest form of capitalism. So if we want to be rid of the imperialist wars once and for all, we have to organize to overturn the capitalist system that's at the root of it all. A struggle for real peace ultimately is a struggle to end capitalism itself. And that is why we will stay in the fight. That's why we will keep the pressure on Donald Trump. We will keep the pressure on apartheid Israel. We will continue to stay in the streets to fight for real peace and say 1, 2, 3, 4. Lead the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lead the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lead the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lead the people, not the war. My friends, I'm Blackman from the PSL. Peace if you're willing to fight for it, and let your motto be resistance. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feed the people, not the war. Feed the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feed the people, not the war. Feed the people, not the war. Biggest crowd in the world today. Donald Trump in the USA. Donald Trump in the USA. Biggest threat in the world today. Biggest threat in the world today. Donald Trump in the USA. Donald Trump in the USA. Give it up for our next speaker, Leanne from the People's Forum.
New York City, let's make some noise. Friends, sisters and brothers, today you have done the right thing. You have decided to take a stand on the right side of history by coming out, by speaking up, by speaking out and sending a message to Donald Trump that the people of North America, the people of the United States, categorically reject a U.S. war on Iran. We have listened to many amazing and powerful speakers today, but we are not yet done. Because we have to bring this message to our neighbors, to our co-workers, to our friends, to the tourists in the streets of New York City, to the people and communities and cities and towns all across this country. Because what Donald Trump is doing right now, Donald Trump is sitting inside the so-called Situation Room. He's surrounded by his friends, his so-called friends, his billionaire friends, who have a friendship based on the lining of each other's pockets. And they're sitting inside the Situation Room deciding whether or not to drop major bunker-busting bombs, 30,000-pound bombs on the people of Iran. They are right now sitting and deciding whether or not to launch a war with the largest and wealthiest and most developed military force in the world against the 90 million people of Iran. They are trying to decide, they are sitting and deciding whether or not to launch a war that could drag not just the 90 million people of Iran, but the entire region and maybe the entire world, very likely the entire world, into a military conflict that will claim the lives of the people of the Middle East, that will claim the lives of everyone across the world, and the working class men and women who would be sent off to fight this billionaire's war. Nobody in the Situation Room, nobody in the White House is coming out into the streets and asking the American people whether this is a decision that they have an opinion on. Nobody is going out to look at the people in our streets who are hungry, the people who need housing, the people who can't afford education, and thinking to consider them in this decision. So we have to be the conscience of the United States. We are going to march now, and we have to bring our message very clear. It has been said before me, and we should say it again. We are the ones who are going to declare what is right and what is wrong. We are the ones who are going to reject this war. We are sending our message to Donald Trump. We are sending our message to the people of Iran. We are sending our message to the people of Gaza who are still being starved and murdered as they try to seek aid. We are sending the message, most importantly, to our friends, to our neighbors, to everyone across this country, and saying that in fact it is up to us. We have to get organized. We have to join the anti-war movement. We have to voice our opinions. And we have to let the world know that Donald Trump does not represent us, that he will have to deal with us if he decides to launch this war. Are you ready to march? Are you ready to march? One more time, are you ready to march? We're going to stay together, we're going to be unified, and we're going to welcome the streets of New York City into our movement, and we are going to very clearly say, hands off Iran! Hands off Iran! Hands off Iran! Thank you.
We want justice, you say how? We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now! Hands off Iran now! We want justice, you say how? We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now! Hands off Iran now! We want justice, you say how? We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now! 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 We want justice to say how! Hands off Iran now! Hands off Iran now! We want justice to say how! Hands off Iran now! 1, 2, 3, 4! Be the people, not the war! 1, 2, 3, 4! Be the people, not the war! 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 We want justice to say how! Hands up Iran now! We want justice to say how! We're marching this way! Stay together! Make some
It's on. Hey, it is Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. John Farina and I are on the ground in front of the New York Public Library where people have gathered to protest the U.S. entering into an illegal war with Iran. Trump, who ran as the anti-war choice, is extremely close to dragging us into another forever war in the Middle East. Per reporting from the Wall Street Journal, President Trump told senior aides late Tuesday that he approved of attack plans for Iran, but was holding off to see if Tehran would abandon its nuclear program. People familiar with deliberations have said Iran's well-defended Fordo enrichment facility is a possible U.S. target. It is buried under a mountain and generally considered by military experts to be out of reach of all but the most powerful bombs. Asked if he had decided whether to strike at Iran's nuclear facilities, Trump said, "I may do it, I may not do it." And he repeated his insistence of Iran's unconditional surrender. The next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week. Again, that is what President Trump just said. That is how he is phrasing the way that he is deliberating entering another war in the Middle East. The U.S. military has built up forces in the Middle East in recent days. A third U.S. Navy destroyer entered the eastern Mediterranean Sea, and a second U.S. carrier strike is heading toward the Arabian Sea. While the Pentagon said the military While the Pentagon said the military buildup is purely defensive, it better positions the U.S. should Trump decide to join Israeli attacks on Iran. It could also be a tactic to pressure Iran to capitulate or make concessions. Again, I'm reading from the Wall Street Journal, which reported on this about 2 hours ago. Israel and Iran have continued to exchange fire, and the death toll in Iran rose above 450. According to a human rights group in Israel, 24 people have died as a result of the Iranian strikes. Note that in Iran, the death toll has risen, but in Israel, people have died. So just a subtle way in which the corporate media is dehumanizing Iranians already to manufacture consent for a war that nobody in the U.S. wants. This all started because last week, Israel launched a surprise large-scale aerial assault on Iran. Israel claims that it acted preemptively to prevent Iran from finally completing a nuclear bomb, which Israel has been warning that Iran is weeks or months away from since 1996. So I will give credit to CNN. They put together a video showing all of the times, again, since 1996, Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that Iran is weeks or months away from completing their nuclear program. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, said in March that Iran was not close to having an operational nuclear program. And you can see up ahead that there are counter-protesters here, Zionists waving Israeli flags.
Police! No, police! Why are they in the street?
And as you can see, police presence at this protest. For those of you following along, we are walking down 5th Avenue and crossing over 38th Street right now. I'm Ashley with Status Coup. We are talking with one of the organizers of today's protest. So why did everyone show up today? What are we marching for right now?
Well, Donald Trump is threatening to escalate and expand the horrific genocidal war that he is bankrolling and that he is coordinating with the Netanyahu government against the people of Gaza. He's threatening to expand it to the people of Iran. Israel has been bombing the people of Iran for over 5 days now, and Donald Trump has been threatening the people of Iran openly, and now apparently has said that he has approved attack plans. He's trying to use this as a negotiating tool. This is not negotiations. This is actually just blackmail, threatening massive violence threatening massive violence and death and destruction. We're here because we need to show the world that the majority of Americans actually stand against the war on Iran, actually stand against the genocide in Gaza. And what's happening right now is that the U.S. government, this has been true in both parties, but even more now pronounced in the Trump administration, that the White House is acting as a rogue entity that is serving billionaire interests and is threatening global war because of their recklessness, their greed. So we're not the only ones out. There's dozens of places across the country. I've been out on the streets marching today. This is part of a national day of action, and we're going to keep mobilizing. The whole world is waiting to see what's going to happen.
Can you talk a little bit about the sort of pretense under which we are potentially entering war with Iran? We are being told that Iran has, a nuclear weapons program. Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying this since 1996. So can you talk a little bit?
It's totally false. Iran has a civilian nuclear program. They have been subject to very intrusive and violating inspections that violate their sovereignty of their nuclear program. They're part of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. They've been cooperating with all international agencies to regulate the potential for nuclear power to be used to make a weapon. The United States has over 5,000 operational nuclear warheads. Israel has 300 at least. They both have not signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. And the United States is the only country in the world that has actually dropped an atomic bomb, a nuclear bomb, during war. So who's really the one who's providing the threat? Is it Iran? No. Iran has done nothing. They have only defended themselves. They have provided no threat. In fact, we're engaging in negotiations with the Trump administration until Israel launched this so-called Operation Rising Lion against the Iranian people. They've been striking hospitals. They've been assassinating government officials. They've been assassinating scientists. They've been leveling residential areas, hitting critical infrastructure. This is the United States.
We're right in the middle of the march, so there's banners behind us, people all around. We're trying our best.
Well, that's it, really. It's just that the U.S. is really the one that's a threat. Israel is the one that's a threat. They're the ones waging war and massacring people and imposing genocide. It's not Iran.
Absolutely. And before I let you go to get back to the march, I would just ask one final question. What does this mean for working people? Not just working people here, but the working people of Iran, the working people of Israel. What does this mean for all of us?
Well, the future of humanity hangs in balance. It's absurd that someone like Donald Trump would be able to, with the press of a finger, determine which way the future is going to go. That's why we have to get organized, because we have to be out here in much larger numbers than this. We have to be building a mass movement. We have to be building organizations, because we need to change the system that allows a billionaire like Trump to actually be determining the fate of millions and billions of people across the globe. If there's war with Iran, working people in the United States are going to suffer. They're going to suffer because they're the ones who are sent to fight the billionaires' wars. But more than that, millions of people are going to be faced with death, destruction, blood, and devastation. I mean, why is it that Donald Trump, a failed businessman, gets to decide the future of the people of the world, of the working and nobly working people of the world? This is totally absurd. We need to not only be voicing our rejection, but we need to get organized, because we have to make it so that this system that allows someone like Donald Trump and his friends like Elon Musk and others, like Joe Biden, all these other small class of ruling people, to determine which way we're going to go, we need to make a new system. This is not possible.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. So John Farina and I are on the ground in New York City in a march against the U.S. entering an illegal war against Iran. We just spoke with one of the organizers about why people showed up today. As you can see, there's quite a few people here marching in New York City. Again, the working people of New York City are telling how much they support entering another forever war in the Middle East.
United, will never be defeated.
So the march is turning onto 34th Street right now off of 5th Avenue.
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who's got the power?
We've got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Another nickel, another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
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 From Iran to Palestine. Stop U.S. war crimes.
Stop U.S. war crimes.
Stop U.S. war crimes.
Stop U.S. war crimes.
Iran to Gaza, here I come. No more war, fight for Rome. We want justice, you said, huh?
So as soon as we get back into the march, we'll start talking. All right, so I am speaking with someone at the march whose sign caught my eye, which says, "Please don't bomb my parents." So can you explain your sign?
My parents are in Iran right now. They are the best parents in the world. They were living in Tehran when the bombing started, and I managed to convince them to leave Tehran 2 nights ago. Now they're in the north. They've evacuated, but it's been honestly my worst nightmare. I watched them on Find My iPhone, tracking their car to make sure that they weren't like bombed on the way. I was tracking overnight. I would wake up every hour. Me and my sister, who's in England, would take shifts. And it's terrifying what's happening. It's truly terrifying because I still have so many friends in Tehran. I still have so many of my friends still have parents, have old grandparents that are in Tehran and can't evacuate. And I've seen the dehumanization of people in Gaza happening over the past year and a half. And I can't believe that I have to prove our humanity now, because I've seen how bad it can get, and I foresee how bad it will be, and it's really, really terrifying. Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you and your family are going through that. I can only imagine what that must feel like. And I mean, can you talk about, you said that your sister is, in the UK, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, that must be extremely hard because you guys are separated while you're waiting to hear news about what's happening to your parents. Meanwhile, those decisions about what happened to your parents are being made somewhere in Washington.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, I'm gonna try and go back to London in like 2 weeks to be with my sister. My sister's we are normal people. My sister has her graduation ceremony in 2 weeks' time in London. My parents were meant to come. We were meant to travel to Italy afterwards. I still can't believe that this is actually happening, you know? I just hope that everybody, that there aren't real, like, big numbers of casualties. I really just hope that people see, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like everybody's priority should be to end any war, you know?
I cannot express how sorry I am that you guys are going through this. And, you know, as you said when we first started talking, you know, we've been watching the genocide in Gaza for a year and a half now. And for you, now it's the gaze has been turned on your family in a very personal way. And it just speaks to how interconnected all of these struggles are, because we know that part of why this is happening is to defend Israel's right to commit a genocide in Palestine.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. I think it's pretty absurd for Israel to start bombing a country as like a preemptive thing and not be called a terrorist state. You know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy world. I'm losing faith by the second, you know?
Well, I hope that, you know, all of the people who have showed up today restores that even just a little bit, because there are...
But everybody needs to speak up. Everybody needs to speak up. Everyone. You don't realize it could happen. This whole eye for an eye thing, it will escalate and other countries will get involved. It's really bad. Like, every time Iran would send missiles to Israel and it would really cause destruction, I felt so awful, because I just knew that would lead to even more retaliation. I really hope there's some sort of like peace treaty or something, I don't know. Some sort of negotiation.
Absolutely. And like you said, other people need to be here too. It can't just be us in New York City, you know, holding the line. Other people in other cities need to also be protesting, because the time to draw this to a close, to make sure that we do not enter this war, is now. Because once we're there, we know that we will be in a forever war again in the Middle East. And there will be, you know,
anybody
untold
who's anti-war should be here. Anybody who thinks that the Iraq war was a mistake should be here. Everybody who thinks any war that the U.S. has started should be here. It shouldn't just be pro-Palestine supporters and just a few Iranians. This is not right. Everybody should be here.
Especially at a moment where, you know, we as a society seem to have slowly started to admit, especially politicians have admitted now, that entering the war in Iraq was a mistake.
Yes.
You know, you won't find many people, many politicians especially, again, who would openly say, no, I fully support that decision to enter the war in the Middle East, in Iraq. This feels like history repeating itself. It feels like, you know, corporate media is manufacturing consent for a war that working people, again, do not want. And we saw what happened the first time and the time before that. And
everybody who was at the anti-Trump protests should be here. If they don't support war, they should be here.
And arguably, I mean, this is... If we enter a war, it is the working people of the U.S., of Iran, of Israel that will be drafted into this war, who will suffer the consequences of the drain on money that endless war is. So you're right. Anyone who was at the anti-Trump protests, this is a direct consequence of those policies that they were protesting.
Americans need to contact their politicians. I don't know how it works here. I'm not from here. Contact their politicians and beg for them to stop this, to not go into Iran, to stop Israel. That's all, honestly.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would want to add in closing for viewers of Status Coup?
Stop bombing Iran now! We want justice, you say, huh?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Stop bombing Iran now! We want justice, you say!
Just thinking about the woman that I was just speaking with, I mean, it's the way that corporate media talks about global conflicts like this. They talk about it in terms of geopolitics and global conflict and that kind of thing, totally divorced from the on-the-ground, like, material effects that these things have on people's lives. That woman that we just spoke to is worried that she is going to lose her parents. Luckily, they were able to leave Tehran, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. And if this continues to escalate, we may have boots on the ground from the U.S. there, which means more working people from other places in the world are also in mortal danger. And all of this is for, defending Israel's license to commit a genocide against the Palestinian people and to make sure that the military-industrial complex can make more money. As we said earlier, the chief operational officer of Lockheed Martin was saying that the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to see a surge in military spending. Well, what does that mean? Again, the terms are so divorced from what that actually means. It means that we are going to be taking all of the money that could be spent on, I don't know, social programs for working people and instead spending it on weaponry and supporting the military-industrial complex. And this is all coming at a time when, the government has decided that its sole purpose is, to promote efficiency, to cut government waste and spending. This is yet another thing that if we don't have money for social programs, we do not have money for war. Not to mention, we should not be in a war anyway. All right, so we are walking down 3rd Avenue, crossing over 35th Street right now. So I just asked John for a rough estimate of a head count because I can't see over the first row of people who are marching. He thinks that there's maybe 700 people here, so a sizable amount. So this is nowhere near the amount of people who show up for the No King State protests. And as the woman that we were just speaking to mentioned, everybody who is at the anti-Trump protest should be here too. So I am talking with Jane. Jane, why did you? I'm sorry? Jane Orendine. Why did you show up today for the protest?
Because this thing has got to stop. We all have to get together, all of us, the people. It's people power that's going to stop this because the people in Washington are not doing anything about it. And Iran doesn't have any nuclear weapons, and the United States knows that, and Israel knows that, but they keep saying that they're going to strike them, and they're just going to wipe them all out. So we have to get together and rally and protest and tell the government, the leaders, that we're not behind them.
Thank you so much. And I would just ask, you and I were both around for the beginning of the Iraq War and all of the talk about Iraq having WMDs that turned out to not be true. This, to me, seems very reminiscent of that time. Do you feel the same?
Yes, absolutely. It's the United States accusing, why is it that nobody else can have nuclear weapons, and then when they don't, the U.S. attacks them anyway, and they have no fight. It's really unfair.
Absolutely, and it, you know, when war breaks out, as we both know, working people are the ones who suffer.
Yeah, working people, we need money here for housing, for education, for Medicare and Medicaid, and there's too many problems here. The U.S. debt is getting larger and larger because of the war machines that they're buying and supporting.
Thank you so much. And I would ask, are there any other thoughts that you would want to add for viewers of Status Coup?
My other beef is climate change, but my important beef is I'm from the Philippines, and we are so afraid that because the U.S. is dying to have a war with China, they're going to use my country as the launching pad. So it's going to be another proxy war. We're going to be another Ukraine.
Can you talk a little bit more about that for viewers who might not know?
Well, they've been having military exercises in the South China Sea because the Chinese are building military bases on our reefs. But the U.S. is provoking them. The U.S., Australia, and Japan have been having military exercises now, as we speak. It's called shoulder to shoulder, balikatan. It's not shoulder to shoulder. It's the United States leading all these people, but we're really afraid because they're provoking the Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, again, another conflict that, I don't know, working people are going to suffer from. As you said, do you have family in the Philippines?
My whole family is there. I'm the only one who's here. And I only came to the States because my husband was an American, so I'm not like a typical immigrant who came for economic reasons. My whole family is in the Philippines, and they're very, very worried about being the next proxy war for the U.S.
So what can all of us do to fight back against the imperialist machine?
I don't know. Well, march, protest, and tell the United States that they have to stop using our tax dollars for war machines and weapons and guns and whatever. War machines. That's what we can do.
Thank you so much, Jane.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so John Farina and I, again, are on the ground attending a protest against U.S. entering war with Iran. We are in New York City. We are approaching 39th Street. Right now we're walking down 3rd Avenue, approaching 39th Street. And there's, about 700 people here tonight.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
can see, there are still counter-protesters here. So there is a very small group of counter-protesters in front of the march with Israeli flags. As you guys can see, corporate media is not down here. War benefits the elite class, and corporate media is busy helping manufacture consent for another forever war in the Middle East. You would think, given the potential implications of us entering into this conflict, that they would be here. That places like MSNBC that was talking about how much they, we're thrilled with turnout for the anti-Trump No King's Day protest last week, would be here on the ground at this anti-war protest, which again, if we enter into this conflict, it is working people who will suffer. They claim that they care about that. They are not here. They are not here covering this. I don't see any, again, camera crews of theirs. So as usual, it is, independent media leading the charge on the ground. You can help support our independent media, our independent coverage on the ground of all of these protests across the country by becoming a member of Status Coup at statuscoup.com/join. You can do this for as little as $5 a month, so 16 cents a day. It really doesn't cost much to support us. And that amount, it might not seem like much to you, but it does make a big difference to us. And in a moment where we are, facing down another potential forever war in the Middle East, you should support independent media that is upholding anti-war voices. I fear that corporate media will not be doing their part to do that. Just turned down 44th Street. The UN building is nearby, just at the end of this street. I presume that is where we're walking, but we'll see. can't hear the trans. They're saying it's bullshit, get off it, this war is for profit. So again, we are walking down 44th Street, about to cross over 2nd Avenue. On the corner of 44th and 2nd. And the march is preventing traffic. Okay, so straight ahead is the Israeli embassy. To our left, if we turn down 44th, we would hit the UN building. And police are now setting up barricades to protect the Israeli embassy.
It's not.
It's not our right to walk on the street.
Nope.
It's not our right to protest. You're saying it in front of the press.
You can't walk past there. You gotta go this way.
That's not our right. You're closing down the street to protect the Israeli consulate, a foreign government, not allowing U.S. citizens to walk down the street. That's what you're doing.
Other groups have done vandalism and so forth, so we closed it.
You're protecting the Israeli government over your own citizens.
I did tell you organizer too.
Okay, so if you didn't catch all of that, the cops are shutting down the protest. We are not allowed to walk down 2nd Avenue. They're being stopped at 43rd Street, and that was one of the organizers of this protest we spoke with earlier. So NYPD is forcing the march to go down, to take a left down 43rd Street. It is Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. If you're just joining us on this live stream, John Farina and I are on the ground in New York City. We are walking down 3rd Avenue right now toward 45th Street, where we are covering a march against U.S. entering into an illegal war with Iran. Trump, who ran as the anti-war choice, is extremely close to dragging us into another forever war in the Middle East to defend Israel's apparent right to commit a genocide. Per reporting from the Wall Street Journal, President Trump told senior aides late Tuesday that he approved of attack plans for Iran, but was holding off to see if Tehran would abandon its nuclear program. People familiar with deliberations said Iran's well-defended data facility is a possible U.S. target. When asked if he had decided whether to strike at Iran's nuclear facilities, Trump said, "I may do it, I may not do it." He repeated his insistence that Iran's unconditional surrender, which he had said over Truth Social, the next week is going to be very vague, maybe less than a week. Again, that is the seriousness with which our president is treating a decision of whether to enter into another forever war in the Middle East. He's saying he may do it, he may not do it. So again, we are at a protest in New York City. We are walking down. We're walking down toward Grand Central right now. So the march is headed toward Grand Central. And again, John Farina and I will be on the ground here tonight until the crowd dissipates. whatever you feel comfortable saying. Just curious why you showed up to the anti-war protest. So again, whatever you feel comfortable saying.
Because I believe that all genocides around the world should end. This is 2025. It doesn't make sense for genocides to still exist in a society where people still don't have their needs met by the government.
I mean, do you have anything else that you would want to add about the fact that, the government is cutting social programs right now? We are cutting things like Medicare and Medicaid, and at the same time, playing around with the idea of entering into another war in the Middle East.
I believe all investments on war should end. The focus should be on people, not wars. The rich cannot keep getting richer. The poor cannot keep getting poorer. The investments have to change. The direction of investments have to change. From wars to people. Yeah.
And I think it's important to note, too, that, when we enter into a war like this, defense contractors, the military-industrial complex, they make money off of these things. So where working people, will be potentially dragged into a conflict through various means, whether it by, boots on the ground or whether it is just through the fact that social programs get cut for us. Other people, the billionaire class, the donor class, the lobbying class, they make money off of this.
Maybe we have to start thinking differently. Instead of thinking that these actions will lead us to more war, we should actually wake the billionaires up, wake the imperialists up, and make them realize that they're the only ones up top in the pyramid. They have to fall down in the pyramid now. That's how angry people are, because we literally don't have our needs met right now. The housing crisis is a big crisis. It's beyond a crisis right now. People are getting evicted every day. And me, coming as an international student, seeing these things, it doesn't make me very happy. So the focus should be at home. People at home are hungry. People in New York are hungry on the streets. The focus should be here, not all around the place.
I mean, on the housing crisis, we are in New York City. We both live in New York City. We are feeling it. It is exceedingly expensive to live here. I don't know if you don't have a trust fund or come from some kind of other money. I don't know how people living in this city aren't struggling.
I am struggling. I'm on student loan. I'm on a hefty student loan right now. My student loan is over, and right now I'm focused. I'm getting my money from my home country. I'm not even being able to make money right here because apparently there aren't any opportunities right now. Where are the opportunities? In war. Maybe that focus has to come. Maybe it has to come to international students, basically people we're using whose money they're making more. The focus should be on our needs instead. Hence, I'm here.
I mean, yeah, and we are out here at a time where you said you're an international student. I mean, it is a tense time for anyone who is an international student, anyone who, has not, their grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-great-great-great-grandparents haven't lived in this country. I assume that, you're feeling the struggle of that. Is that something that you would feel comfortable talking about a little bit?
Well, there's not much to talk about at the end of the day. Everyone knows it. It's already an open, not even a secret anymore. Everyone knows everything. So I don't think I have to say anything for that.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, all of this has been playing out right in front of us. We know stories of Mahmoud Khalil and all of the other, students who have been targeted. So I appreciate that. I would ask if there's anything else that you would want to add for viewers of Status Coup about why you showed up at the anti-war protest tonight.
Because we should not make war. That's it. Period. Just no war. Focus on other things. That's it. Focus on needs. Focus on people. That's it. That's if I have to give an open message to people out there, focus on people's needs and actually join the people. And while being here, I also feel the energy of being together, the synergy. That's also something that I love. Being able to come here and, walk with people who share the same faiths as I do, same beliefs as I do. It's rejuvenating. Yeah.
I would completely agree with that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate meeting you.
We want justice, we want peace. U.S. has the Middle East. Hey, hey, no, no.
Or a new caffeine, maybe a salt.
Yeah. I will hand you this, and I will...
Okay.
Oh,
you don't sign up, he's going to die. You don't want John to die. He needs you to sign up. He is tired and hot. He's tired and hot. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, which is everybody except for those of us at Status Coup, and anyone who sees us on the ground, John is carrying the live view on his back. It is a... he says he does it for you guys. So, again, he has the live view on his back. It is heavy. It's a big backpack. It's heavy. It allows us to stream, so that we can do the live streams. And he is also holding the camera on a very long monopod. He has other equipment that he's carrying. It's all very heavy. His back has been hurting. And again, it is extremely hot and humid in New York City right now. So again, you should sign up because it helps John and I. And if enough people sign up, maybe we can raise some more money for some equipment that will be, less brutalizing on John's back. Something like that. Or something that maybe I can hold so that John isn't carrying everything. I don't know. I am just talking. I have no idea what any of those things would be. But the bottom line is you should sign up. For $5 a month, you can help us, make this a little bit less painful for John. Okay, so we are marching now toward Times Square.
Hands up Iran now! Hands up Iran now!
Okay, I am stopping off to get John a water really quick. Hey, can I just get 2 waters?
What site?
I'm sorry?
Okay, no, can you get cash?
Even the cops need a water break and maybe some food.
Just come find me. I'm going to walk along this side, okay?
Okay, so I'm back. John and I both have water now. What I said before about signing up to make things easier, to help us get equipment and all that kind of stuff, I was kidding, but also I'm being very serious. You can help support our journalism for as little as $5 a month. Again, it does make a huge difference on the ground. It allows us to, again, buy other equipment, make things easier for John while we are out filming on the ground. Okay, so we are now in Times Square. Okay, so again, we are right in the middle of Times Square, around Broadway and 44th. As you can see, there's a lot of people on the sides of the street watching the march as it goes past.
From
city. Iranians, Palestinians, working people, doctors, nurses, every sector of society, look around you. This represents the will of the people of our city. We know that the will of the people of our city is not for more U.S. Zionist adventuristic wars in the Arab, Iranian, Middle Eastern region. We took to the streets today because as we speak, Donald Trump is gearing up for a clear, direct United States involvement in this war. He's laying the plans. He's rallying Congress. He's fighting through these political gaps. And make no mistakes, brothers and sisters, this is not a U.S. entry to the war. Since the 61st day after the negotiations, the day Israel began its illegal criminal aggression on Iran, Trump and the administration have been clear what their involvement is. Support with weapons, diplomatic assistance, intelligence, planning, strategic support. This is a United States war on Iran. This is a United States war on Iran, just as Israel's genocide on Palestine, on the Palestinian people of Gaza, is a United States genocide. Over the last 5 days, the U.S. and Israel have martyred more than 200 Iranians, 90% of them children. Endless strikes on civilian areas, on people's homes, while they're sleeping, while they're attempting to carry out an ordinary, normal life. And at the same time, these bloodthirsty war criminals have still been intensifying their attacks on Gaza, still carrying out humanitarian massacres, so-called, still horrifically gunning people down as they wait to fill their empty stomachs with any small portion of food that they can get. This is what they want in Gaza. This is what they want in Iran. This is what they want for the entire Arab region, for the entire Middle East, and ultimately, brothers and sisters, for the people of the world. But are you going to stand for that? Are you going to stand for that? Are you going to stand for that? Will you let Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and whoever else speak in your name and say that this war is for your safety? Will you sit silent as they drag us closer to what could be World War III? Or will you fight? Will you fight? Will you continue to fight? Especially in New York City, brothers and sisters. As we march today, we pass through streets called Yitzhak Rabin. We pass by blocks called Golda Meir. We're in the home of Donald Trump, brothers and sisters. It's clear not only what our government, our country wants to do in this region, but also our city. Eric Adams has signed an agreement to expand business collaboration with Israel. In the last mayoral debate, every single candidate pledged, with the exception of one, pledged their first trip would be to Israel. The one candidate who didn't was endlessly pressed. We must continue to organize right here. We must continue to be in the streets to march every single day. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to close with a call to action. I want every single person who came today, I want every single person who rejects U.S. war on Iran, rejects genocide in Palestine, and stands for justice and freedom to turn out to the Monday meeting at the People's Forum to get organized. Monday, 6:30. Monday, 6:30. Monday, 6:30. I'll see everybody Monday, 6:30. Have a good night, and let's close out with one more chant as loud as we possibly can. We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now! We want justice, you say how? Hands off Iran now! Hands off Iran now! Hands off Iran now! Have a good night, everybody.
All right, guys, this is Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. John Farina and I have been on the ground in New York City. We're currently in Times Square, where the march against the U.S. entering a war with Iran just stopped. Again, we're in Times Square. We're going to close out for the night. Thank you so much for following along with us. If you are watching, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Status Coup so that you don't miss any of our on-the-ground reporting. If you have not yet become a member, you can become a member at statuscoup.com/join. That allows us to keep bringing you the coverage that we've been bringing you. We've been covering the anti-ICE protests all across the country, and we are now covering the anti-war protests here, the protest against entering a war with Iran. We will be following this as everybody else will be. We'll stay on the ground, and we will see you guys soon. Bye.